This is your moment of clarity from LeeCamp.net. Constantly fighting food shortage, stifling overcrowding, contaminated water, lack of health services, crippling poverty. When I describe that to you, you probably feel gross, right? Unless you're Sean Hannity, in which case you get hard. But if you're a normal human being, you want to do something to help those struggling people I just told you about. But now, I'm going to do a magic trick and make it all better. Make you no longer care about them. Here we go. That quote was by Chris Hedges, and it's about the people of Gaza. Ta-da! If you're most of America, or any of our U.S. senators or presidential candidates, you suddenly and miraculously don't give a shit about those people because they're poor, they're powerless, they're unpersons, not real people. This explains why we seem more grossed out by a sandwich spokesperson molesting children than we are by our bombs shot by Israel blowing up children. Of course, that's not to say that what Jared did isn't fucking more horrible than Subway's yoga mat sandwiches. Remember that, right? Their sandwiches, bread, had the same chemicals as a yoga mat in it. No wonder every time I ate there, I ended up at a highway gas station bathroom doing downward facing dog, followed by a very, very unhappy baby, resulting in a janitor's bucket full of shavasana. How does one come, how bad? How many horrible things does one company have to do before we stop eating there? It doesn't make any sense. Hey folks, our bread's made of yoga mats, our seafood sandwich is made of baseball gloves, we have sun chips like it's 1998, and our pitch man is touching your kids. But why don't you come on in for a $5 footlong? And we're like, yeah, okay, can I get extra honey mustard on that? If they're giving out extra honey mustard, I'll eat molesty yoga mats all day long. But back to unpersons. As Noam Chomsky says, an unperson is someone who has lost their personhood because they dared go against the state. He didn't come up with that term, though. It's from George Orwell's 1984. But now it also includes people whose very existence is against what the state wants. Unpersons are Palestinians in Gaza, or slum dwellers in India, the millions in U.S. jails, the people underneath our bombs in Afghanistan and Iraq, the Native Americans, and clearly also immigrants, according to the current Republican candidates for president of the racist shithead club. They even reintroduced the term anchor babies, for Christ's sake. That's offensive to immigrants, babies, and sailors. I didn't even remember what it was at first. I just knew that the news was telling us that they're everywhere. We've got an infestation of these babies. They've already taken over border towns. Bring your knives because they've got anchors. I mean, hell, bring your gun. They might have harpoons. Don't fire until you see the whites of their diapers. They know no mercy because they're babies. That'd be ridiculous. How could they know mercy by then? Back to Chomsky for a minute, as he says, along with unpersons comes unhistory. History that doesn't count because it's inconvenient to the ruling elite. In fact, right now, we're currently ignoring the 50th anniversary of one piece of unhistory, the Vietnam War. The Pentagon has been accused by many scholars of whitewashing the war in Vietnam. But luckily, there are some books that bring unhistory back into the light, including Lies My Teacher Told Me by James Loewen, and A People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn, Confessions of an Economic Hitman by John Perkins, and U.S. Army Psychiatry in Vietnam by Norman Camp. Now that is an amazing list of books, and I'm unbiased on this topic because at least 75% of that list were not written by my father. No, unhistory doesn't get large monuments and holidays, right? It gets a plaque. A plaque. Go fuck yourself. Plaques should be reserved to tell you where the old post office used to stand and when you haven't been brushing your teeth enough. And that is it. okay? Clearly, unhistory and unpersons are brought to light by people like you and me. So let's get to work. That's been your moment of clarity from LeeCamp.net. If you want more of my stuff, check out Redacted Tonight, my weekly television show. Go to youtube.com/RedactedTonight. Thanks. Keep fighting.